This morning, our focus is on the programs, services, and new technology helping people in our community who are blind and visually impaired. 2 years ago, Badger Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired and the Center for Blind and Visually Impaired Children merged into one organization called Vision Forward Association. Our guest, Rob Bittner, Rehabilitation Services Director, and also the manager of the Vision Forward store, Cory Ballard. Good to see you, gentlemen. Thanks for joining us on Eye to Eye.
Great, thank
you,
you
for having us.
How has this merger benefited the people in our community who have vision loss? Rob.
Well, when the concept of the merger first came about, the leadership teams would say, well, we really want this merger to be 1 + 1 = 3. We just didn't want it to be two organizations coming together and doing the same old thing. We wanted to have the opportunity to create some new programming. So one of the things that we were really focused on was trying to develop programming for school-age kids. And over the past year and a half, we have been involved and started to do some of that type of programming. The Center for Blind and Visually Impaired Children really focused on children ages 0 to 5. Badger Association really focused on adults 18 and up. So there really was a gap in terms of services for school-age kids who are blind or visually impaired. They get great services in the school, but there were some things that were missing, and really no nonprofit in the community serving that population. So it's really been great. 1 + 1 has equaled 3.
It certainly has. And Cory, when we talk about the population, roughly 80,000 people in Wisconsin with some kind of vision loss, and yet there are so many more out there you are trying to help and to serve. Isn't that correct?
That is correct. Out of that 80,000, really only about a third are receiving services to increase their independence and to improve their quality of life. And Vision Forward Association is really trying to reach as many people as we can through a full spectrum of programs and services and through products in the store to try to introduce these individuals to things that are out there to help them to both, like I said, increase their independence and really improve their quality of life.
And of those 80,000 people, Cory, roughly 70% of the population are unemployed. The two of you work for Vision Forward, and I believe Vision Forward employs 16% of their staff have some kind of vision loss problem. Explain for us the type of vision loss you have.
Myself, I have what's called detached retinas. Usually that's caused either by a blow to the head or severe myopia. If you're severely myopic, that can also cause it too. Mine started when I was about 12 or 13 years old. Basically started seeing some black dots and streaks across my vision, which are really is a big warning sign for anybody who's starting to see what we call floaters, or if your vision is starting to see some black dot streaks. I was, I was a 12-year-old kid. I ignored it. I assumed I'd wake up the next day and everything would be just fine. And finally, my left eye went completely black, and I realized that maybe it's about time I talked to my parents. There might be something bigger going on here, and was referred and found out that I'd had detached retinas.
And Rob, like Cory, there are a number of things you cannot do as far as drive, but there are so many more things you can do.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I began to have vision problems in my mid-20s. And when you first start to experience that vision loss, it is very much traumatic. You are burdened with a lot of myths and stereotypes out there of what you can and can't do. But the more that you get into it and the more that you learn about your vision loss, you realize you can do most of the things that you did before the vision loss. Mm-hmm. I always tell people, the big things that I can't do since I've experienced the vision loss, number one is driving, and everybody on the road is grateful for that I no longer drive. But then also playing sports where a ball comes at me. But still, I do a lot of the things that I love to do. Play golf with my father and my brother, play with my kids, hang out with my wife, go to brewer games, go to movies. And really our whole focus is helping our clients get to the point of the vision loss being tragic to really just being inconvenient.
And also, Cory, overcoming some of those and dispelling those stereotypes about vision loss.
Yeah, when people think of somebody who's experiencing some type of vision loss or is blind or visually impaired, they get a certain picture in their head. If it's a popular Stevie Wonder or something you see on TV, and not everybody who lives with vision loss has the same characteristics, or it's something that I learned as well when I started losing my vision, that you can't just lump an entire group of people into one category, visually impaired or blind. And so, both employing people at the association who are visually impaired and both giving the skills and techniques to successfully become a professional in the workplace is the best way to show that those myths aren't true, that just because you have lost your vision that you now need to stay home and somebody needs to take care of you. There couldn't be farther from the truth. You can be as independent as you choose to be.
Very good. We are going to take a short break, but when we come back, how new technology is helping people who have vision loss in the workplace and at home. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Rob Bittner, Cory Ballard with Vision Forward Association, helping people with vision loss throughout the state through programs, services, and products. In fact, Cory, you're the manager of the Vision Forward store in the 900 block of North Hawley. We have a number of products here helping people in the home and at work. Let's talk about the iPad that you have in your hand. We heard about the iPad 3. This is a 2, but the 1, 2, and 3 both really do a lot for folks like yourself.
They have, and Apple's done a terrific job at putting accessibility built into their devices. So, Mike, you and I could walk into the Apple store together and both purchase an iPad and walk out and both be using the device right off the shelf. One of the accessibility features they have put in for people living with vision loss is what's called VoiceOver. Screen reader technology. So as I touch the screen,
videos,
it actually,
iTunes, photo booth.
A voice reads me what the icons are that are underneath my finger.
Yeah, and that's not a special app. That just comes with the iPad and the iPhone, I understand.
Correct. Yep, it's built right into all of their iOS devices.
And Rob, you've got this alarm clock here that not only has large numerals, but it talks to you as well.
Yeah, by just pressing the button, typically.
The time is now 26 minutes past 3 p.m.
So in addition to having the large display, it also has the ability to talk to you. With our organization, our whole philosophy is what helps you function better. It might be large print, it might be speech, it might be both. So there's lots of different great products and clocks and things like this within the Vision Forward store.
Including this device here. You press a button, you put it up against your...
Gray, black.
It helps you identify color.
Color clothing identifier, yeah.
And that's great for both people who may be blind, but also for people living with color blindness as well.
When you merge with the two other organizations, you create Vision Forward. Obviously, you got children involved, and you're addressing the needs of our young people as well. Here's a soccer ball that you can hear
has bells inside.
A bell inside,
Yep.
Exactly. And they're out on the soccer field. They may not be able to see the ball as well, but they certainly can hear it.
Yeah, and there's a big emphasis, too, on having kids with all different types of disabilities, including vision impairment, participate in physical education and sports and modified sports. And there's great products and great teachers out there, too, that make that happen.
And that all comes back to, again, dispelling the myths, the misconceptions, and instead of focusing on what they cannot do, what they can do. With the help of products like these, Cory.
Yes, we have, in the Vision Forward store, we have nearly 500 different products that are all designed for people living with vision loss. So everything in our store is large print or talking or some type of tactile device, magnifiers to help if people are struggling to read the newspaper, their favorite recipes. We have devices in our store that can make reading enjoyable again and make you as independent as possible.
People walk into your store, Cory, and they introduce themselves, they say hi to you, and they see that you have vision loss. Are they surprised?
A lot of times they are surprised, but they're pleasantly surprised.
Right.
It gives them a sense of encouragement and a sense of hope that with some training and with right devices and the right attitude, that it is possible to still live a fulfilling life and hold a job and and partake in all the things that they'd like to.
And Rob, what do we have right here? Looks like a TV remote.
It's a TV remote. For those of you that want to watch Channel 58, it'd be easy to find the numbers on this large print remote control. It's a universal remote, so it's pretty easy to make it work on your television.
We just see so many more gadgets out there available to the general population. Is that true with the vision loss population as well, that your needs are being addressed more and more these days? Or is perhaps there's more work that needs to be done?
Yeah, we've come a long way. Like Cory said, Apple's done a tremendous job in terms of making things universally accessible. But we still have a ways to go. But we're pretty confident with the way technology is moving that it's just going to continue to even the playing field. The nice thing about a lot of these devices is that most of them are fairly inexpensive. Like the iPad, of course, we know runs between $500 and $700. But there are some proprietary pieces of technology that used to do those types of things that would cost $5,000 for someone who's blind or visually impaired. So it's a good time to be blind or visually impaired.
The Vision Forward Association store, again, Cory, is on Hawley Road. Is that correct?
That is correct. We're just a half a block north of Wells Street, right, located on Hawley Road. You can also, we do have an online store as well at vision-forward.org, so you can do shopping there as well.
Yeah, we have the website there, again, vision-forward.org. A lot of information. We've only been able to scratch the surface, but we want to thank you, gentlemen, for stopping by and sharing with us really key information about vision loss in Wisconsin and what's being done to help the men, women, children, and seniors who are dealing with it.
Great. Thanks for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Rob Bittner, Cory Ballard, thanks for joining us this morning. Next, our People Helping People segment continues with an update from an organization providing help and hope to disaster victims. You're watching Eye to Eye.
Wheel of Fortune, weeknights at 6:30 on CBS 58.